Wildlife Encounters in Rehabilitation. Much Ado by Katrina Bennett.
Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical. Can you hear my body talk? But I can't even walk. My Annus horribilis limped on with all the elegance of a three-legged wildebeest in stilettos. I was becoming a mere desiccated husk of my previous self. Where once there was nominal musculature and taut-ish skin, I now looked like a deflated balloon with sinewy-looking bits articulating the joints of the long bones. The ambulation began with a wandering around the house, all hours of the day and night, like some deranged ghost with uncharged batteries in their body clock, circadian rhythms set to the hours of a nightclub owner in Ibiza. With strength gradually returning, I was able to make it to the letterbox and back unaided. The next momentous occasion was to leave the sanctuary of my property and walk down the road. This actually required some preparation and pre-thought, involving the milestone of getting out of my PJs and Crocs and finding some clothes and shoes. Every day progression was seen, less time in bed, sitting for brief periods of time, and walking for short distances, 11 billion times a day. A real Forrest Gump, except at Sydney sloth escaped from the dementia ward speed. Generally, I'm a glass half full kind of gal. More likely it's because I've put it down somewhere and forgotten all about it. So I'm not one to normally dwell on the fact that Lady Luck had been appearing to hurl great excremental chunks at my general direction for a while. Thus it was with much relief when she set her crappy sights somewhere else. When you live in Warrandyte, you can truly believe that life is beautiful. I would have had at least one visitor a day in an effort to keep me entertained. As I got stronger, there wasn't an eating or drinking establishment I wasn't driven to in the 3113 postcode on more than one occasion. Eventually, I could walk out my back gate and along the river for my tri-daily bipedal jaunts. The sheer delights that nature would throw at me on the regular. It could be a jolly sun-drenched 28 degrees in the morning, with kookaburras chortling away, wombats having grand old snoozes, and a platypus playing hide-and-seek. By midday, torrential rain would be making it nigh impossible to see as the wind would knock me sideways. A pre-dinner stroll in the still, humid air, clambering over the freshly fallen bushes and trees, would be shared with the roos, wallabies, and fossicking echidnas. The one constant, approximately 1.58 kilometres from my gate, was Mr. Tiger Snake. His movements were obviously very dependent on the weather. Earlier in the day, he could be found at his favourite spot in the sun, just off the trail, and 1,000 galloping horses wouldn't budge him from that cosy hollow. A wave of acknowledgement and a "g'day" from me would get a quick head nod in return, and I'd be safely on my way. Midday, I could catch him slithering around the general vicinity. Be careful not to stand on him, and all was well. One miserable rainy day, I got caught out when he was smack bang in the middle of the skinny trail. Foot raised above his inert body, I got the one eye open, "I dare you" death glare. I didn't dare. With his solar panels on 0.5% charge and simply not prepared to use that last ounce of energy to move, I retreated, waved goodbye and said, "See you tomorrow." Some wildlife encounters are less welcome. There were occasional human being sightings in my wanderings. Not 5 metres in front of me, a man came crashing out of the bush, arm dead straight in front of him, staring at his phone. Startled, I said, "Hello?" Looking down, I noticed he had bare feet. Now, as a health professional of a certain persuasion, and seeing my old mate Tiger daily, I couldn't quite fathom this. No acknowledgement, he just kept walking. Perplexed, I continue on my way and promptly forgot all about it, until I'm very close to home, and there he was, standing half a metre off the track, in the long grass. OMG, it's Mr. No-Shoes, still with his phone straight out in front of him in one hand and... was that a trouser snake in the other? For f***'s sake. Less venomous, but possibly more dangerous, and unfortunately found the whole world over. Eventually, I was given clearance to move to the next phase of my rehab. The gym, a place I had managed to avoid my entire life. But apparently, a lady of my age is required to lift weights, keep her heart rate in zone 2 for 38,000 hours, and eat enough protein to give birth to a cow. And yes, it turns out the gym is full of wankers too. Let's get physical. I've had DOMs for days. Now I can barely walk. Let's get into physical.
This article was read by Rebecca Rose,
Sandy Miller.